criticism, Easterners, particularly from India or Pakistan, they take it as an insult. It's a very blurred line, unfortunately. So that's why an apostasy law can be seen as almost a taking away of human rights.
Oh, I thought you talked about apostasy law here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I just completely misunderstood
No,
you. I thought you were talking about blasphemy.
Sorry, my mistake. I mean blasphemy.
Apostasy is slightly different.
Yeah, that's a different way.
Look, you're right. You know, in Pakistan, this blasphemy law is very important to have. I'll tell you why. Because of this blasphemy law, there's a control. The government can interfere, and government can take control. But if we take the blasphemy law away, people will take in their own hands.
Right.
Because they are emotionally attached to their faith.
Right, but that's the core problem.
We're brothers.
Instead of seeing that as a problem, saying let's just put a blasphemy law in place to make sure this doesn't happen. Yeah. Which, by the way, the blasphemy law in countries like Pakistan, for example, they're definitely unfairly biased towards defending Islam as opposed to Christianity.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think the question really we should ask is this, yes. Because according to let me just find out who it was. It's the Court of Human Rights, the European Convention to Human Rights. What they're essentially saying is that because it hurts the feelings of Christians, of Muslims,
yeah.
Therefore this woman should receive a death penalty, essentially. So what I'm asking is this: do you think it's just and it's right if a religion or an ideology cannot be critiqued without there being some kind of death warrant or death penalty because of what you said? That's what we want to know from Muslims.
No, we're talking about
that's what's happening
here.
here.
Pakistan, yeah.
Sorry?
Pakistan and their blasphemy law. We talk about here, country here.
Right, so we're asking for your opinion.
Yeah.
Yes. So we know the laws in the UK. We know the laws in Pakistan. We know that there's different laws all over the place. So we're saying this: is it just? Is it right? Is it fair? For somebody who's simply critiquing or perhaps says something that someone might not like because that's what it says, that's what they tried it for. They said that she basically offended them and it hurt their feelings, essentially. So
what exactly she was saying? I don't even know.
Okay,
I thought you know.
Yeah, I'll read what she said. So this is what she said.
And secondly, what is your source?
Well, yeah, I'm showing it to you here. This is it. It says, in today's chamber, judgments in the case of ESV v Austria, application number, and it gives a number, European
Austria
Court of Human Rights held unanimously that there had been no violations of Article 10, freedom of expression, of the European Convention of Human Rights. So this woman had basically been tried, and now the court case has been taken.
We're talking about the Austrian woman.
No.
We're talking about Asma Bibi. I think we're talking about.
Yeah, we are. I'm gonna explain to you. Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. So this is I'm talking about the Austrian woman. Yes.
Austrian woman.
Yes.
I thought we were talking about Asma Bibi here.
Oh yeah. It's all the same thing, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not.
Explain why.
We're talking about Austrian one.
What the Austrian woman
talking about the laws of European laws. Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on
this?
this?
Talking about the Asma Bibi.
No, Asma Bibi is an issue as well. But I was kind of trying to combine them together.
They're not.
Okay, explain the difference.
Which one is you want to talk first?
Okay, start off with
Explain the difference.
Explain the difference first, and then we'll move on from there.
With Asma Bibi, what happened there?
Yes. What did she say?
I thought you know the details.
No, I know the details, but I'm saying, why are you saying that's the difference? Because it happened to do with what she said to other women.
First of all, the law of Pakistan you don't even know. It's not the same as European law. Yeah. In the law, blasphemy law in Pakistan is this.
Right.
The country decided. We are a Muslim majority country, 95 to 97% Muslim, and we do not want anybody to insult our God, our book, and our prophet. So they are not allowed to do that. And if they openly do that, then they're going to be punishment followed by that. But in that law, which as far as I know, they are given chance to apologize. Even if you stand in the middle of the street and say bad things about the Prophet ﷺ or the Quran, then police will arrest you. Still, no person is supposed to hit you. But that's again. Let me make my point here. It's very important. No one supposed to, by that law, should take law in their own hand and beat you or whatever. That's not allowed. If they do it, they are going to be breaking the law. So what they should do, they call the police. This person standing here insulting the Prophet and the Quran and the Allah. So they will arrest, police will arrest, they take him that person to court, or before the court they say, did you do that? That person, even if it says, yes, I did, will you take it back? Can you apologize? Can you take it back? And that person says, no, I will not. Then they were supposed to ask them again and again.
What did Asma Bibi, because you're familiar with the story. What did she do? What did she say?
You understand what I'm trying to say to you here?
I understand, but I'm saying, go back to the
process is this. They will give, but somebody so stubborn enough to say, no, I said that and I'm going to stand by that. Then for them,
what did she say? What did she say?
And that's the law of the country.
Yes, I understand.
I back that.
Okay.
I do back that.
Right. So the question is this. What did she do? What did she do that warranted that?
Look, I vaguely know the story that she was working in the field.
Yes.
And she was the only Christian woman working in the field. I think the fruits they were taking, the fruit, isn't it?
The drink, and she's...
No, but they were working.
Yeah, they're working, yeah.
She went to the well and took out the water for everybody.
Right.
And she bring the water, and the Muslim women said, we're not going to drink water from your hand. You are a Christian. We're not going to drink water from your hand. This is the beginning. This is the argument.
Have you got the story there?
Is
that what she said?
This is what I heard, and this is what I heard from the mouth of her husband. Her husband giving interview to the Catholic television.
So
there's another part.
She said what? She said, so what did she say?
I don't know the story after that. I don't know the story.
Read the story.
They demanded that she convert to Islam.
Yes.
She refused.
No, what happened after that, the water thing?
Well, he's reading it.
Immediately after, okay, so I'll start from the beginning. Miss Bibi was involved in a row with other Muslim farm workers after they refused to drink from a bucket of water she had touched because she was not Muslim. When they demanded she convert to Islam, she refused, prompting a mob to later allege that she had insulted the Prophet.
No, that's not the story. That's not the story.
But,
what happened?
Give us the right story, because that's the story that we've heard.
You mix two events, 5 days of difference. 5 days of difference. But what I want to know...
So give us that initial difference. Give us the difference. Because
what he says, when they asked her to become Muslim, there was 5 days later of the incident. But the incident, what Asma Bibi said, we don't know what she said that.
Okay, so we're asking you, what warranted Asma Bibi to have this death penalty? Okay.
These are the comments you made.
Go on.
Yes,
See if you give a
that's
comment.
why I don't know. That's
Okay.
So she said, I believe in my religion and in Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for the sins of mankind.
Amen.
What did your Prophet Muhammad ever do to save mankind?
Yes.
And why should it be me that converts instead of you?
Right.
And then an argument ensued.
Right. So
you want my comment?
Can you respond on that? Yeah.
That's it. She said nothing wrong.
Thank you.
She said nothing wrong.
Thank you.
These people were completely wrong to took her that, and I say that, and I'm so happy that she got released. Seriously, and I did say Allahu Akbar when I heard that. Allah is the greater that she, because I believe if she was living in the time of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would have punished those people who arrested her, because what she said was nothing. It's nothing blaspheming at all. And this woman, poor woman, struggled 8 years in the prison. And these people who are crazy people on the streets of Pakistan, they want her death. You know what I was saying? I was saying that these people, those people who want her head now, their punishment should be every non-Muslim in Pakistan come and slap them. Those people with a long beard, and they're asking. Look, there are a lot of silenced voices in Pakistan.
Could you bring that out? I just want to read. Yeah. So,
there are a lot of silenced voices in Pakistan, and they think like I do. They think this is ridiculous. This extreme religious people. They're coming on the street and they want a head of an innocent woman.
Yeah. So Abbas,
she's completely innocent.
She's completely innocent. So,
and even the governor got killed.
But you see,
the governor of Pakistan got killed. Punjab got killed because he took her side 7 years ago.
And so I think the point we're trying to make is this: is that what we have here is we look at the direction, because obviously we're previously speaking about the Austrian woman, who I think she made a statement about, maybe pedophile, something like that, and then now. It's gone even further. Now you have a woman who's simply making an innocent statement, and they're like, you got a mob, and we're talking about thousands, possibly millions of people who are saying if you say anything against Islam in any way whatsoever, it's no longer just a point that where they're purposely mocking, but it's actually come to the point now where you can have the nation. And what's happening in Pakistan as well,
that's crazy.
Is that what's happening in Pakistan, no, I agree with you, is that the government have come to the point that even when she comes out of prison, they say that, listen, they've given in to the people, and that's why they're being called a weak government. Because now she's going to have to leave the country. She cannot even live in a country where her family is, where she's born, because she made a almost, as you said, an innocent statement. And so you realize that where we are in terms of free speech, in terms of critique, in terms of just being fair to our human brothers and so on and so forth, where you go into certain Muslim parts or Muslim countries and you can't even just confess that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, and what has Muhammad done for you? A simple comment. And so I just want to point out to a lot of Muslims that
is why
where it's going.
the Supreme Court took her side, and the Supreme Court say all the witnesses, they are clashing with each other's evidence. Supreme Court, you do the right thing. So what I'm saying that there is justice in Pakistan, but what you must understand, the blasphemy law is actually protection for some people, because if there is no blasphemy law, vigilante will take place, because they know, because people are run by emotions. Pakistani people are very emotional, and even Indian people are very emotional as well. When it comes to religion.
The better solution, as opposed to a blanket blasphemy law, would be to tackle the core problem of people being so emotional about their beliefs.
They'll take ages. So people are not very educated in Pakistan. Literacy rate is so low. They all run by brainwashed by imams, extremist imams very easily. But it will take a long time.
But even in that sense, any kind of educational initiative of that form is not present in any of the Islamic countries. Any kind of initiative to abolish this sense of strong emotion about their belief.
My feelings have been hurt, so I'm going to decide to murder.
You know
and so just on your point you made as well, to add to that, is that yes, you may say the Supreme Court of Law, the government, they decided to find this woman not guilty, but you have to remember there are still thousands and possibly millions of people in Pakistan who disagree. Absolutely. And you have to also remember there is a lot of pressure, because this news is international now. So it's all of this pressures around the world globally for them to come to this decision. And the thing is,
you can't say that.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Ever got killed on the blasphemy?
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
I think maybe few men in the past.
Abbas, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. I'm going to. Let me tell you why. Because why did this case even go to the court in the first place? This case should not even have gone past, gone to the court. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying to you is that there is pressure for them to come to a decision, and even then they cannot even allow her to stay in the country, which it is. They have to now move her out of the country, and so she's away from her family. And so what I'm saying to you is that this is where we're going in terms of Islam. Islam is no longer something that you can critique.
This is where I disagree with you.
Go on.
You are judging Islam on the behaviors of Muslims. Islam doesn't teach you that. This is not the teaching of Islam. This is a Muslims who are extreme-minded or run by emotions. And Muslim, many scholars, they disagree with their
Why did Muhammad kill the prophetess? Why did Muhammad kill the poetess?
Why did Muhammad kill the poetess? What was she?
No, I'm asking you, as a Muslim, why did he?
Do you know what she said about Muhammad?
I want you to answer that. Yes.
She said about her tribe, I think it was one particular tribe. She said to that tribe, I want you to kill that man, Muhammad. She writing in the poetry. In the poetry, she was inciting violence towards Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and she's writing the poetry. I want this man who came to Medina, who came in our land and conquered the places, I want somebody go and kill him. That's what she was saying in the poetry. On reverse, even if you believe in that hadith, what it says that, on the reverse, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says the same thing. Who killed her for me? He said that. So she said this thing, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said exactly what she said, and somebody killed her. So she was not as innocent as you think she was innocent.
But we're not asking if she was innocent. We're asking, is it justified for someone who's critiquing something or something? Inciting. Even inciting violence or inciting murder. Is it okay for that person to be murdered?
In Islam, we believe if somebody gives you one slap, you can slap back, not two slaps, one slap back. This in Islam is allowed. So if that woman writing the poetry, I want you to kill this man, and much more worse than that, she's writing about him. And then he said that as well. If she's doing that, what she's spreading in her society and culture. And Muslims were a very small community, and they were a very vulnerable community. And the leader, if somebody talk about leaders openly like that, who's going to say tomorrow it's only going to grow? So he said, okay, if she's saying that, I said that as well, and somebody killed her.
So by the way, I haven't read into it, but I'm just going to take you. So the question, what we're asking is that where it starts from, because there's a lot of people, for example, you know, because we're just having a discussion here, they come to Speaker's Corner, all types of things are being said against them, you see a lot of violence, you see people incitement to violence and all kind of things. So I'm asking you as a reasonable person, you've condemned Pakistan, for Bibi, yes. I'm sure you've condemned this, the people, you know, in Austria. Who took this woman and who was going to, you know, basically because she blasphemed, she had to pay that fine. So she basically had to pay a fine and so on and so forth. But what we're asking is this: is that if people,
somebody have a disagreement with Muhammad Sallallahu or want to say something, I'm not going to take revenge on that person. I'll try to educate them and try to refute their
argument. So what I'm saying to you is that by simply someone uttering words. So for example, this poetess, she's having, because remember the Jews, okay? A lot of Muhammad came and he told them to convert to Islam, okay? Otherwise, they would be killed.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Baba,
anyway,
that's in the hadith. I can read it. I can read the hadith.
It's not.
Okay.
Yeah. We talk about Banu Qurayza.
That's right. Yeah. Banu Qurayza.
Anyway,
yes.
Can we talk
so it says that.
I want to make.
But let me finish my point because So I'm saying to you is that Muhammad told these people to convert to Islam. So this woman is being oppressed. And so, of course, you know, she may retaliate by saying, hey, do you know what? Because I'm taking what you said for it. And she's saying, you know what, I'm going to...
I can bring it to you, the evidence next time.
Bring the evidence next time and we'll discuss it more.
Yeah.
But the point is this, is that what we're saying is that there's an escalation. Whether you want to admit or not, there's an escalation of what we can say, what we can critique. You know, it starts off from, you know, just words, you know, against or critiquing Muhammad. Then it goes to words, you know, perhaps, and the woman actually said, I think she said, right, because he had sex with a 9-year-old child, in this day and age we'll call that paedophilia, which is an accurate statement. And then now, that's right. But then it escalates to the point where a woman just simply says, what did your prophet do for you? And so you can see the escalation where there's no tolerance. And if you go back to Muhammad, that's exactly what you find.
Why are you blaming Islam?
No, because listen,
Austrians are doing that.
But let me tell you why. Because as I say, when you look at what Muhammad himself did, for example, we discuss Surah 929 all the time. Okay, and we discussed Surah 981, Surah 95. We do all these violent passages. What we find is that Muhammad is not actually in war, but what he's come to do, he's come to basically convert people to Islam. And those who refuse to be converted to Islam, he's killed them by the sword. And these are in your Quran, this is in your hadiths, and this is in your Sirah. So what I'm simply saying is that you can see that the lack of tolerance starts from the Quran, starts from the hadiths.
This is the side argument you're using. I can
I'm showing you where it derived from. I'm showing you where it came from.
But let me make my first couple of points.
Sure.
I completely disagree with this behavior of Pakistani people.
And Austria? And Austria?
And Austria as well.
Okay.
I disagree with her comment, but I don't think she deserves any punishment. But let me remind you something which you're forgetting. Christians have done worse things than that 100, 200 years back, more than. They used to put people on stake, saying even little things, or even people who translated the Bible into English. Wycliffe and Tyndale, the first translators of the Bible, they chased them all the way to France and they burned them alive.
These are Christians.
Yeah, Christians.
Right.
Church.
So
no, let me make my point, brother.
But it's a bad point.
It's very
because it's not an example to us.
If you don't let me speak.
Go on, finish your point.
You are trying to ride on a high horse as a Christian. That Christian history, if you look, they, as I say, Tyndale and Wycliffe, they translated the Bible and they chased them all the way and they burned them alive. Somebody even used to prophesy in the olden days. They say you are a witch, a church, backed by the churches. But am I critiquing Christianity on that? No, I'm saying it's the people, Christians done that. So when the Muslims are behaving like that, but you are critiquing Islam, and that's where you're wrong. There are Muslims who are interpreting in their own way or run by emotions. So don't blame Islam on that. And the points, I also want to say another thing. What happening in the Muslim country many times to Christians or non-Muslims, a lot of wrong things happen because they want to take revenge to those people. You know, like you want to take revenge from your neighbor who's a Christian, they say he's blasphemed. That happens a lot in this kind of a country, and which is wrong. Even in Afghanistan, the woman was burned alive and killed by the mob.
Can you round up? Let me respond to you.
So,
Yeah.
no, this is what
What's your point?
I completely disagree with the behavior what Muslims are doing in those countries against non-Muslims and even against Muslims. Some scholar who become a little bit liberal and talks, against some imams. Even those scholars have to leave country as well. That's why the great scholars.
Can I respond to your point? Because the point I made, I'm not sure if you heard me correctly. The point I was making is that the intolerance that we're seeing now, it didn't just start spontaneously in Pakistan. It started from somewhere. There was a trail behind it. And what my claim is, okay, is that it started from the Prophet Muhammad, the intolerance of other beliefs, of other religions, of people who didn't convert to Islam. That was the point I was making. The reason why I'm drawing Muhammad into this is because he's the greatest example for all mankind. And he's the one that we should follow, according to Muslims, and who's the best role model. Okay? Now, if somebody, for example, would say, Allah is God, but Muhammad is not his prophet, you'd immediately discard him as a Muslim. You say, no, he's not a Muslim because he's made a false claim. Okay? That's right. Or if someone was to say, do you know what, we're not going to follow the example of Muhammad because that's what the Quran tells us to do. You say, no, this guy cannot be a Muslim because he's not following the example of a prophet. So, and it's the same way with Christians as well. If someone is to denounce Jesus Christ or say, you know what, we're not going to follow the teachings of Jesus or he's not a great example, we'll ask them, are they truly a Christian? And so when you bring up these, I think what you call them is red herrings, and you say, oh well, Christians, many years ago used to do this thing. First of all, you have to ask yourself, are they following Jesus Christ? Are they following his example? What did Jesus teach? That's the way you draw it back to Christianity. Anybody can put on a hat and say, I'm a Muslim, but deny Muhammad. It doesn't make them Muslim. Anyone can put on a hat and says Christian, therefore I'm a Christian, but I don't follow Jesus. So let me make my point. So the point essentially is this: is that we must go back to the role model. We must go back to the standard. And the standard is for Muslims, Muhammad, and stand for Jesus. And I'm saying this lack of intolerance started from Muhammad. It started from when he left Mecca, went to Medina, and when he came to the Jews, and the Jews rejected him as a prophet. And that's when, for some of the tribes, he made treaties with. Okay, but what we don't find is that we find like for example, the Banu Umayyah that we mentioned. Okay, we don't find anywhere where the Banu Umayyah broke that treaty. Okay, we don't find anywhere where they signed a treaty. We don't have anything like that. And what we do have is we have Muhammad being sent by Angel Gabriel to go and kill these innocent people who had done nothing to him. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I
argued with Daniel earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see the video on that. And actually, Daniel made that point that in Abu Ibn Majah.
Yes.
Banu Umayyah did have a treaty with Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He actually took out. They had a treaty.
No, but they didn't sign.
No, you just say they didn't have a treaty.
No, what I'm
saying, they didn't break it.
Huh?
They didn't break the treaty. They didn't listen. So the question we have to ask, yes, okay.
Let me speak as well.
Okay, yeah. I just want to clarify.
No.
I just want to clarify.
I let you speak. No matter.
Can I clarify what I said? Unless you just want to attack something I didn't say.
I have to make a point. Yeah. Okay. Even if you didn't say, you can come back.
Okay, sure.
You're right. I disagree with you. Banu Umayyah, they had a treaty. And also there's a hadith in Sahih Muslim which says they fought against the messenger. 1766 Muslim. I read the hadith as well. It says Banu Umayyah fought against the messenger. And if you read the whole biography of Martin Links, written by Martin Links in Sirah, it tells us Banu Umayyah, and you know that many years ago you also said that 8 people from Banu Umayyah, they went to Quraysh and they had a pact with them. You come and attack Medina, and we are not going to take side of Muhammad. Many years ago, you also agree with that as well. 8 people from Banu Umayyah. So Banu Umayyah was guilty, and it's a long story now because I have to do my prayer as well.
Yeah.
So Banu Umayyah was guilty. But the point I want to bring
it's very simple on that point. Where is it that Banu Umayyah, give me the article which they broke. Give me where they signed. First of all, you said where they signed this treaty. Okay, that's number one. And number two, show me which article on the treaty that they broke. That's what we want to say. Okay. Because we know that we know that we know that Muslims make these claims that they had this treaty. But it's very simple for you to disprove what I've said. Show me where they signed this treaty, and show me which article they broke. Which article did they break? Can you answer that?
Can I say something?
Okay.
First of all, when I went to, have to be fair, when I went to Daniel, I did not make a point of treaty at all. I didn't. You know what? Don't laugh. Don't.
No, but brother, I've asked you a question, and you sound like you're kind of diverting. All I'm asking you is this. I'm asking you.
Why you don't have patience? What do you?
Okay, finish your point. Finish your point.
You like?
We got to round off.
You like your voice a little bit too
But
much.
you're not answering my question.
No, seriously. No.
Answer the question.
I am telling you.
Yeah.
When I went to Daniel, you can see the video. In that video, I said I'm not making any point of treaty because I'm not aware Banu Qurayza made a treaty with Muhammad.
Thank you. So no one is aware that Banu Qurayza made a treaty. Keep going.
Can I finish for God's sake?
Go.
Seriously. Godwin, for God's sake. No. So I never made that point. Then Daniel took out Ibn Majah. In Ibn Majah, he read it and he said Banu Nadir didn't make a treaty, but Banu Qurayza made a treaty. But I was building an argument without a treaty. Now Misaq Medina was this. Anybody outside from Medina, into Medina, every citizen of Medina must protect Medina. That was the treaty Misaq Medina, which in my knowledge, Banu Qurayza never signed it. But the point here is this.
Thank you.
When the poll tax...
So why did he kill 800 men?
When the poll tax was introduced in this country, many people disagree with it. But those who disagree...
Okay.
But those who disagree, were they exempt from poll tax? No. Those who don't pay poll tax, they were punished. Same way, when the treaty of
Were they killed? When
the treaty of Medina...
Were they killed?
Now you're changing the argument.
You just said that they were punished. We're talking about a man who murders 800 innocent people. We're asking a question because he's comparing poll tax
I'm giving you an example.
to Muhammad murdering.
An example. Here we're talking about people not paying poll tax.
Sorry.
Here we're talking about people who are not paying poll tax.
Sure.
And then we're talking about people who done treason. They done treason, so they were punished for the treason. What was the treason?
Where is it that they showed treason? That's what we're asking you. Where is it that he showed that they broke a law? Show us.
If I show you,
yes.
Banu Qurayza fought against the messenger. Is that enough?
No, give us the treaty.
If I show you they fought against the messenger, is that enough excuse for him to fight back and kill them?
So, this is what Abbas's claim is. Abbas's claim is that there was a treaty. Okay, you agreeing there was a treaty, or you said there was no treaty?
What?
Are you agreeing there was a treaty or there was no treaty?
So
let's go in there. Let's go in there.
Daniel actually helped me
Abbas,
that they had a treaty.
Let's go in there.
You want me to open it for you?
So the question we have to ask is this: which treaty, what article on the treaty did they break? Okay? If you can't answer that,
go and read the Misaq Medina treaty.
No, I'm asking you. You're saying that they broke the treaty. Which article did they break? Because
okay, can I give you the article then?
The article, yes, they broke, yes.
In the Misaq Medina, if you read the article, in that article it says that in
show us, let's read it.
I don't carry Misaq Medina with me.
So you haven't got a phone to give me?
I can bring it for you, yeah.
Okay, what we'll do is, we're going to have to round off.
Can we have
what I'll say is
this. Debate on Banu Qurayza?
We'll debate Banu Qurayza next week. You bring up all this evidence,
absolutely.
Okay? And I'll bring it, yeah?
Let's have a debate.
Okay, have a good one, yeah?
No problem.
Appreciate it, man.
Good.
Take care. Bye.
I've got a little bit to say as well, actually.
Huh?
I've got a little bit to say.
Yeah, please. No, make a point. Okay, so what's your reflection on what happened?
Obviously, you couldn't answer the question about the treaty being broken or what.
Yeah.
However, even in spite of that, one thing that we got to remember is that we can have our debate about that particular issue, but the fact remains, as you were saying earlier, this increased wave of intolerance that we're seeing in the Islamic countries has to have stemmed from somewhere, right? It has to stem from an intolerant core, and we can see that in things that aren't even up for debate. Things such as the appearance of the apostasy law within Sharia law. Things like this show us that there is an intolerant root in Islam, and from this further intolerance can grow, as we've seen in the case of the woman in Pakistan and the Austrian law, etc. So, he's making good points, and obviously it's going to be interesting to hear the debate next week. But, in spite of everything, we have to remember that there is an intolerant core there. And that's the reason for everything that we're seeing.
Absolutely. And, and I appreciate that point, because what essentially we have to go back to is we have to go back to the root of every cause. You understand? And so, if, for example, we see, let's say for example, we see Christians doing something really crazy, murdering people, and they say it's in the cause of Jesus. Because, so we'll have to go back to
what Jesus said,
exactly. What Jesus did. Do we see him murdering people? Do we see him killing anyone?
We're told to turn the other cheek.
Absolutely.
We saw, you know, the gentleman was saying how in Islam it's told if someone slaps you, you have the right to slap them back. We're told to turn the other cheek. There's a stark contrast. You know, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. There's multiple examples of a very tolerant nature being taught by Jesus, and it's in stark contrast to the nature that we see being taught by Muhammad. So there's no doubt there.
All right, man. Yeah, so that's it, man. Thank you, brother. God bless, man. Yeah?
Oh.
All right, cool.